Welcome back to another episode of Iniquitous News. I am your host, Lawrence Johnson, and let's get right into it, man. Happy Monday. $400 million jet. I ain't gonna lie, son, that don't sound too bad to me. Qatar basically called up Trump. They're like, all right, you could build your golf course over here, get you a little hotel, we gonna send you a jet. You can turn it into Air Force One, and guess what? Even after that, you can keep the jet. Trump said, oh, yeah, son, say less. What do you sign me the fuck up? And, you know, as a major grifter, I can't even be mad. And as a hater, I'm even more impressed. Because bro went to the Middle East and accepted a gift. And that gift was a $400 million jet that he's going to then take our tax dollars, use them to make sure that it's Air Force One qualified. And then after his little 4 years as president, or, you know, he's a dictator. He may try to run for like next 15 to 20. He's like, hey, I'm not going to use the jet no more. I'm just going to put it up in my library. Everyone else is like, wait, no, we want to build a new Air Force One jet so the next president's going to use it. He's like, no, hold off on that. I'm going to take this gift. I'm going to talk to Qatar, see what they got going on, and then I'm going to think about doing that shit. And it's like, wait, I feel like that's illegal and against the Constitution. You can't take foreign gifts from foreign countries because then it's looked like as influence. Because it's like, okay, you may make a decision in favor of Qatar, and then at the end you might as well say, yeah, sponsored by Qatar, my people, because they gave me a $400 million jet. Call it a flying palace, my nigga. Like what? Huh? How? I ain't gonna lie, I'm trying to get involved. I was the president, I'll probably make the same exact move. But at the same time, I just want you to think, if Biden or Obama did this, MAGA people, they would be ready to storm the Capitol again, saying it's Middle Eastern influence. But you know, if it's Trump, it doesn't matter. It's just like, well, I don't care because that's my leader. So whatever he do, must be good. Ignorance is bliss. Must be nice. Some good news from Trump, though. Basically, he said, Big Pharma, we cutting all of that shit. 30 to 80% cuts coming in immediately, which even as a hater, I can't even hate on this because it makes sense. And for so long, Big Pharma has been fucking us. And the fact that people in London pay tremendously amount less than us, even though they're getting it shipped from here, makes zero sense. And it's like, wait, hold on. How are these companies getting away with this for so long? And it's like people are paying significant amount of money for life-saving things that they need. Why? Stick with the vibes, just so these companies can make more money. And it's like, for who? Oh, their shareholders, so we can make billionaires even more billionaires. I know, fucked up system, right? But Trump, I ain't gonna lie. You hear that? Round of applause. Maybe too little too late, because you fucked everything else, but this was a good move, my guy. I'm impressed. I thank you. If you've noticed, the stock market has shot back up, and that is because Trump and China have reached a 90-deal agreement to just pause the tariffs a little bit, take them all the way down. China's now at 30%, U.S. is now at 10%. Now, obviously, people are going to say art of the deal, but it's like, no, we shot ourselves in the foot multiple times. People lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. As usual, why? Strictly for vibes, because he was shooting from the motherfucking hip, as always. And you got to wonder, at what point in time is this actually going to get figured out? Is this going to be put on another 90-day pause? Or are they actually going to have discussions with President Xi and be like, okay, let's figure this shit out and get on the same page? Because thank goodness this happened, because this could be the one thing that stopped the self-inflicting wound. It's like he was playing Russian roulette. He was down to 2 shots and he ain't shoot himself, thank God, because that would have been a recession for me and you. But at least now we actually know these China talks, this is actually a real deal. It actually is happening. Thank goodness, because I ain't gonna lie, prices were about to skyrocket. Some people already seen that shit happen and buying clothes. They're like, oh yeah, before this gets delivered, you have to pay this tariff. It's like, they acting surprised. I'm like, dude, we are not watching the news? Like, what the huh? I'm confused. It was right in front of your face, man. They're like, what do you mean? But we'll see in 90 days. We'll be back. 3 months. I mean, that's a good amount of runway to hopefully figure some type of shit out. Do I have a lot of faith? Not really. But hey, it's better than what it used to be for once. Trump takes another step by releasing an Israeli-American prisoner against Israel's will. Which is crazy, right? Because the whole thing was like, oh, let's release the hostages. Now that we did that but didn't consult Israel, Israel's pissed. Eden Alexander, an Israeli-American soldier, I might add, he was captured out of his tank and still has survived this long. And you're trying to tell me that Hamas and Palestinian people are these terrible, terrible people, that they were able to capture someone out of a tank and still haven't killed them? while dealing with starvation, bombs, no water, and no electricity. And now that Eden's actually out and he has left and has finally been released, he refuses to meet with Netanyahu. Why do you think that is? Because he knows that the hostages don't actually matter to Netanyahu. What matters is that he is going to take over Gaza and eliminate everybody. I mean, he's already let the cat out of the bag. Demolishing more and more houses, eliminating people they have nowhere to return to. And if they do try to return, no, we want to put them in different countries. That's called ethnic cleansing. You're displacing a group of people. It's very black and white at this point in time. He's like, yeah, no, we're going to keep on destroying what we need to destroy. And yeah, no, they can't go back, even though there's nothing to go back to. He's trying to make it sound nice. Well, there's nothing to go back to, so we should put them in France or somewhere. No. You should just be able to go back home. Why don't you take your ass back to Poland and switch your name to your original name? Oh, no, because that would show that you are a settler and a colonizer and an ethnic cleanser. Shit is unbelievable, people. He's saying it out loud. But thank God, this is why there's this tension between him and Trump, because they feel like Trump has been influenced by Netanyahu. And then Trump started to realize, wait, hold on. Wait, you got my inner circle fucked up. I thought they was genuinely, reporting to me, but really they was reporting to Netanyahu, which is why Mike Waltz got the fuck up out of there. It all started with that signal leak, which is now more interesting because if Mike Waltz was the inside guy, then that would make sense why he purposely would add someone into a group text. See what I'm saying? So now we have this reporter in there that's going to leak Hegseth and what his war plans were. And Mike Waltz's hope was, if I get Hegseth fired, I could put in place an Israeli guy and someone that's on Israeli side. And then we can now go to war with Iran, because that's where it really comes down to. They want to go to war with Iran. Why? Because, that's the land that they want, and they don't want them to have any type of nuclear weapon. Because they think the nuclear weapon is going to be used against them. It's like, no, Iran's just turning into a first world country. All first world countries have nuclear weapons. But they're scared that they're going to lose control of the Middle East. Which to me is just like, why do you think you should control all of the Middle East? And you probably wouldn't have enemies if you wasn't just killing random people and then destabilizing other countries around you. But all that to say, Trump and Netanyahu are still not friendly. He's over there in the Middle East right now, and he's not going to make a visit or stop Israel. That's rare. Now, his guy Huckabee has already came out and said, like, oh yeah, if you think Trump's going to recognize Palestine as a state, got another thing motherfucking coming, because that would never happen. I have my hopes, but I feel like this is more of what the truth actually is that, okay, yeah, we're going to put this stuff on the back burner. I'm going to go make some deals. Netanyahu, shut the fuck up for a little bit. And when I get back, we're going to have all this shit figured out. We'll be on the same page. We can make something happen. But I can't make a deal if everybody's pissed at you. I just don't see it as possible that Trump is actually going to turn his back on Israel. It's just too much money and they have too much. And, the Epstein files is something serious. And Trump is all over them motherfuckers. That's 100% fact. Israel continues to commit war crimes, this time as they continue to starve the entire Palestinian population. Palestinians were like, okay, we'll just go on our makeshift little boats and go fishing and then try to bring some fish back. What do you think they were met with? Bullets in the open water while trying to fish with no weapons other than fishing poles. And they killed them, as you can see in these videos. That's one of the most inhumane things I could possibly think of. You're starving people. You see them fishing and you open fire on people fishing. Yeah, that's genocide. And the people that shot them, I hope hell is hot and I hope you dress cold. It's going to be a shitty afterlife for you. That's for sure. And it doesn't stop there. They're also building high-wire towers. Yeah, that's right. High-wire walls to block people in and make sure that no aid can come in and out. Why? Because they're trying to finish an ethnic cleansing. Or a genocide, also known as. It's crazy that every single day we get closer and closer to this happening, and it's like we can't really do anything. Thank God Trump and him is beefing right now. That's the closest we can get. But Israel has now also, video footage has been released that they killed a terror operative, they said. But when the video was released, it was seen that he had both hands up. Then an undercover MSAD agent that was acting as a Palestinian civilian comes up and shoots him in the chest. This would have never been reported if the video didn't come out. But it brings up the fact, well, so if he's undercover and can kill somebody, how many other undercover MSAD agents do they have stirring up problems and burning things and starting food violence? Makes you think. Maybe they've always been undercover, causing problems. But to know that he has the audacity to run up while someone's arms is up and then shoot them in the face is like, oh shit. That's a whole new type of low right there. Moving on into the more Trump shit, you know how we was all about deport. We need all illegal immigrants. We need immigrants out of this country. Well, he has changed his tune to people that are white from South Africa. Now, we are accepting them. And the first shipment has came in. So you can see these refugees, they look great if you ask me. I mean, they look very happy. They look very healthy. They don't really look like they was running from nothing. But supposedly they're over there in South Africa getting killed. And it's almost just like, wow, he's so right-wing that he's almost left-wing for South Africa because he's decolonizing them by just saying, oh yeah, all the white people come over here. But then it's like, I start to wonder, where are they going? What houses are they going to be in? Are they going into apartments? They're South African farmers. Are they going on farmland that's just going to be built for them? I mean, I think all these are honest questions that I'd like answered. And it's just interesting because, like, these people weren't even here, but you're kicking people out that were here. I mean, maybe it's the difference in color of skin. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but if you notice, they're all white. Sometimes you can't help but notice color when there's nothing else and no other color there. So I guess white refugees are allowed. I know South Africa probably is ecstatic. They probably finally got these colonizers out. And the thing is, it's because there was a land law that was passed that basically there were certain white farmers that were going to lose their land without compensation because there was a land disparity happening. They are 7% of the population and owned 80% of the land, 87% of the land. And people are like, oh, that doesn't work. How? And so now they say they're getting persecuted. And so now they're welcome here. Very interesting. I thought Trump hated all immigrants, but I guess if you white and South African like his boy Elon, we welcome you with open arms. I'm happy you guys are safe from such a dangerous South Africa. Fucking dweebs. Speaking of fucking dweebs, I mean, listen to what Trump had to say about his homie taking the fat shot when asked about, different medical things.
I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up, and he said, President, he calls me, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy, very successful, very rich. I wouldn't even know how we would know this, but because he's got comments. President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working. He said, I just paid $88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on?
I have no choice but to think that he's talking about Elon. It could be somebody else, but he's throwing in the hints that he's like, yeah, Elon fat ass thought he was just going to be able to put himself with a shot and the shit ain't working. Which is absolutely hilarious to me. But moving on to one of my favorite parts, Music Mondays. And Music Mondays, we try to find the undercover artists that not a lot of people know. We're going to start off with Voda Vuzi, Catharsis.
Yeah, hey, catharsis, give me little apartments. Hate the way she love her, I love the way she arts it, okay. I'm partial, pour me up and sparks, they don't care too much, shit, I'd rather stay impartial, okay. Alarming, evil is so charming, love I'm not no hero, I can't save you, I'm an artist. Hardly, they could fit and charge me, throw the kid the car keys, backseat turn apart.
See, now that's using AI in a creative way. The fact that he's able to put himself in and then into the GTA game and out of the GTA game, and he's like using the same exact places is fucking unbelievable to me. Moving right on, we have Spelling Bee, Amelia Moore featuring Tizo Touchdown.
So I had to send an SUV, pull up, big body. Baby, do I got an SPE?
Tizo Touchdown is so creative and so tough. And speaking of creative and also tough, another very unknown artist, I think his name is Yago, but it's called Hard X. And let me tell you, like, he's mixing old songs together and then putting his new type beat. I mean, just listen to this shit. I told you, that shit is tough. And I don't even know if I like that type of music because it's like no lyrics like that. But I don't care because it's tough enough for me. And last but not least, we have Shooting Star by Hayden Brady. At least that's the remix. Shout out Bobby Shmurda on this one.
And I know I just met you, but I'll be seeing you later. Don't be acting a player. I got you right on my radar. And when time goes slow, I got you in my soul. Even though you said you leave me, you're standing in my home.
I be moving just like this with that joint. Vibing and sliding, moving and grooving. You know how I be doing. And then moving on to a very electric time for NBA playoff basketball. Not talking about that Cleveland and Indiana game because that shit was embarrassing. I ain't gonna lie, Cleveland, you is not like that. But we have two amazing games tonight. Timberwolves and Warriors. What's gonna happen? Is Steph back? Or is Ant Edwards and them about to, you know what I'm saying, put the pedal to the motherfucking metal? We gonna see. If I was a betting man, I'd put my money with Minnesota, though. I'll tell you that right now. Then we have the Celtics and Knicks, Game 4, back in the Garden. I mean, New York just got embarrassed on their home floor first game by Boston. Is that gonna happen again? I don't know. But you know New York, this is not a must-win, but it's damn near a must-win, because then you go up 3-1, you put them in a chokehold. If you do not do that, you already know shit may get real critical, because then you have to go back to Boston. And Boston could easily win 3 in a row, then they go up 3-2, and now you kind of like, oh, fighting for your motherfucking life. So you know the stars is going to be out. Who is going to step up and play that role? I don't know, son. I can't wait to see, though. This shit's going to be electric. That's 100% sure. If I was a betting man, I'm not going to lie. I seen the spread. I'd probably go Boston money line because I don't know if they're going to cover that spread again. But I just don't think, I don't know. That last game, that looked like Boston was like, they figured that shit out. They was like, oh, all right, we got something for that. Not for real. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Iniquitous News. I'm going to see y'all on Wednesday. You already know I have another episode of What to Watch Wednesdays. And be prepared. Your first guest is coming very soon. We're going to make it conversational. It's not going to be all about the news. It's going to be basically just pop culture catch-up. Anything and everything with LJ. It's like its own little segment, but a part of this Iniquitous News and podcast umbrella. You feel what I'm saying? Don't forget to hate and subscribe, and I will see y'all on Wednesday. I'm out.
You've just tuned in to another edition of Iniquitous News Network with Lawrence Johnson. Don't forget to hate and subscribe.